Welcome to the Completely Yoked podcast with Little Bit Bougie and Mr. Radio 100. Real talk, real life. Good morning, good afternoon, good night from wherever you are in this part of the world. Welcome back to Completely Yoked. I am Armand, aka Mr. Radio 100, and of course I have my lovely co-host, Little Bit Bougie, better known as Monica, or everybody needs a Monica because everybody needs a Monica. She's just phenomenal in that. But today we have comedic gold in the house. So we have a great interview for you today. And this is Mr. Renard Hirsch. Welcome in, sir. I heard you just did the Apollo. Very well done. Very well done. And we definitely appreciate you being here. Taking the time out to actually interview with us. We definitely appreciate that. But let's go ahead and do what we do and jump right into it. Monica, if you would, proceed.
Renard. Oh my God. So I'm going to hit you with this throwback. I don't know if you remember this. The first time I saw you was in Smyrna. And it's really weird. They had some really good Chinese food. And I thought it was a restaurant. But it was an open mic night. Yeah. And you performed. And I was like, okay. All right. It was you and it was like 3 or 4 other comedians. But you could tell that you was like really serious about it because you had like a flow with where everybody else was kind of like, but a boosh for me. And so that was the first time I saw you. That's the first time I saw you.
Yeah, I think we met there up there Singha Bar and Grill.
Yes, and when I tell you when I got the invite, I was like, "Are you sure?" And they was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." I did not expect that at all that night. I don't know if I was shocked by the fact that it was a comedy show in an Asian restaurant. They sold wings.
Yeah.
I was just floored. It was a night.
Was good. Look, then toward the end, they started selling pho and everything.
It was good. It was really good. Yeah. I was shocked. I was shocked. It was a night, right? And but you could tell your set was different. And so I was like, okay, maybe he gonna have a following or something like that. So I started following you, and slowly, but like I started seeing, like, man, he is everywhere. Like he's at Zany's, he's traveling. I was like, whatever. And so, like, did you just fall into comedy, or were you like always funny as a kid?
I liked to crack jokes as a kid, but I wasn't like the class clown. It was like I always loved. I had funny friends around me too, so we always liked to joke and mess with each other. But I never thought I'd be traveling the country doing any comedy or anything like that. So, but yeah, so basically I was in college at TSU. Shout out to TSU, and I was there for about 2 years and wasn't really learning anything, but I took a theater class, and the teacher asked me, she was like, "Hey, we doing a play this summer. We might have some roles open if you're interested." So I'm like, "All right, well, I ain't doing nothing else with my summer." I was like, "Yeah, I'll come and do it." So then, so they pulled me in. I ended up working with Kimberly Lamarck and Barry Scott on Raising in the Sun, and so I got the smallest part you could have. I just came and helped pick up the couch at the end of the play, and but yeah, once I started doing theater, it was like it kind of gave me the confidence to speak in front of crowds. And so then later on, my friends were like, I had some friends in college, I would prank them and mess with them all the time. So they were like, "Man, you should be doing comedy. You should try comedy." So I was like, "All right, well, I'll try it out. We'll see what happens." So I went out there to a spot called Cummins Station, and they had comedy at the bar car, and tried it out. And well, first I watched them do it, and I was like, I can do better than this. And then came back the next week, did not do better than them. But I did good enough to where the veteran comics were like, "Hey man, you got potential, man. Keep coming back." So then after that, it kind of started snowballing. I started getting gigs and started getting booked and started getting to go out of town and stuff. So then I was like, okay, I'm on the ride. Let's go with the comedy train.
So I know you said shout out to TSU. And in my head, I'm like, okay, he said was there for 2 years. Now I know TSU is, that's a 4-year HBCU. So
Yeah,
You was there for
well,
peace.
no, I graduated. I was just
Okay.
I was a business major my first 2 years, and so that wasn't where I was supposed to be. Like we had, let's see, we had I know we had one of our professors. He got stuck out the country at one point, so we just missed his class for like a month and a half, and it's just there were a lot of language barriers dealing with some of the professors there in that college. So it was I was like, I just wasn't learning anything. I was just kind of upset, that I wasn't getting, too much out of my educational experience, but fortunately I did get to act, and then that kind of put me on a different path. So I was able to, find that.
Awesome. So are you from Nashville originally, or you just went to college there and then all of a sudden like you started your career there?
Yeah, I'm originally from Nashville, grew up, born and raised here in Nashville. So I grew up here, then went to TSU. Then maybe about 2 years after that, moved to Chicago, and I was in Chicago for a couple of years. Then after that, went to LA and lived in LA for a couple of years, and then moved back to Nashville.
Oh wow! So you're used to the traveling life. So this is home for you to be traveling. So
Yeah,
what style of comedy would you say that you are? Or you just
I think mine is it's observational. I'm gonna talk about what's going on. I'm gonna talk about what's going on in my life. I'm gonna talk about dating. I'm gonna talk about school. I'm gonna talk about just whatever's going on. Going on in the news and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what it is. I got a few, maybe a few impersonations. We'll play around with different stuff like that. But yeah, that's the most thing. I always try to give the crowd the as much energy and as much comedy as I possibly can.
so okay. So the people that's listening, and then the people that are like, oh my God, like I can see myself in him, and I want to do it. What's the real truth, ugly? Like, did you just hit the ground running and they like all this money? I could live off this? Did you have to have a job?
You said, did I have to always start? Yeah. So when I came out of college, I was a high school theater teacher for 2 years, and then I worked in the schools in Chicago for a little bit. And so yes, I did have a day job. Yeah, I also do shoe restorations too. So anybody out there, if your Jordans is on life support, your boy can put them back in the game.
Saw that, but I thought it was part of the joke. I was like, ain't no way.
Not as real deal.
Hey, the comedy cobbler is also in the building.
What are you doing a set? Like, hey, bro, I can get you up. Like,
Oh yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, I may roast
thought
your
you
shoes first, and you'll be like, hey, just holla at me later on. I get your shoes back there.
I'm gonna hook you up though. I swear I thought it was part of the joke. I was like, ain't no way. Because it's right there. It's up there. It's what I found. So in comedy, who would you say was the GOAT for you in the comedy scene?
You don't mind like whoever I looked up to, like in the starting out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, there's always the. You know what? If Chris Rock was a stand-up wise, Chris Rock, Rodney Dangerfield. Of course, I don't want to say Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. I mean, those were great, but it's kind of like that's the given. They already in everybody's list. But those guys. I did like Bring the Pain. That was one of my favorite specials that Chris Rock did early on, and so that was definitely inspirational. Watching Comic View growing up, getting to watch all those guys, and then, later on getting to, be and work with a lot of those guys. A lot of people don't know that, but back then, like the comedy game was pretty small, so everybody, if you were funny, everybody kind of knew everybody. But definitely, lots of funny guys like Griff, Pierre, Sean Larkin, Sean Jones, T-Ray, D-Ray, Lil Rel, Griff.
Oh, wow.
Lots of funny people in the game that I watched growing up. Of course, you had Living Color and stuff like that too. So all those guys, anytime I get a chance to work with anybody from Living Color, that's just a super bonus for me, because those were some of my favorites. And they inspired me to do sketch comedy too.
is so like, people don't think about comedy necessarily when they think about Nashville, but Zanies, I've seen so many greats come through that building. And so for you to be a part of that wall and a part of that greatness, and it's in your hometown, like there has to be a sense of pride. Or do you feel like you get more love outside of home?
I'd say it's a mix, because it's like I do feel the love when I'm in the city, and people have come out and supported my shows. So I definitely can't say that Nashville hadn't supported me and showed me love, so it's definitely a special place for me to be. But also at the same time, it's the hometown. So, people out of town look at you differently. When you're on the road, people are just like, oh my God, who are you? Where are you from? Oh man, let's get an autograph. So they kind of, it's different when people just kind of grew up with you and kind of know you, or what like that. But yeah, I think, I think, it may be kind of 50-50. I think me not being from other cities when I come, there's that factor, but also I think there is a lot of people that I do get to see like every day, when I go out, people are like, hey man, we saw you at the last show, man, we coming to the next one, or, hey man, you keep doing your thing, so that's always encouraging to me, just to be able to see. So I do feel the love, and I do feel that the city is proud of me, so I definitely love Nashville.
And so like when you're from a town, right, and you give back to your community and things like that, a lot of times there are some expectations that when you succeed, we succeed type mentality, especially in our communities. You ran into a lot of that to where you're just like, I'm by myself right now because I'm getting myself on, and maybe you've had to like, let's set some boundaries because it's like you got to put in the sweat like I have. Or do you feel an obligation, like pressure to do so?
You talking about like other comics coming up, or you just talking about just in general? Or
like people that that started with you, like because I remember when I first saw you, you guys were it was a lot of y'all knew each other, y'all were friends. Do you have people that feel like they're funny and they can do it? And since you've gotten a little bit further, there's a sense of an obligation. Maybe you're gonna help them get on or help take them with you. Do you have that sense of like responsibility or obligation, or do people put it on you? Like, do they hit you?
I do. I do definitely like to pass on the knowledge and stuff that I have and help other comics. It's a different generation, the younger generation. So this generation that's out here, they're kind of the persuasion. I pretty much know everything and I know what I'm gonna do. So it's like, I'll if I can, or if I have comics that are open to the information, because I usually don't just freely give it out, because I know some people, you just hate, and then they'll realize what I said 3 years down the road was true, but yeah, definitely, people that there were I did have comics that reach out, after I kind of started touring and stuff, and they were like, hey man, I think I can do this. Can I pick your brain and just tell me what I should do and what you recommend. So there have been a couple comics that have come to me like that, and then we and a lot of them have taken my information that I gave them and then added 20 to it, so it's like they've taken it to the next level. So I'm definitely proud of the comedians that are coming up, and it's just a it's a journey, and the journey is different for everybody, so it's a thing where like it's a solo sport, but there are some kind of team aspects, like I know a lot as a comic, probably half of your work is going to come from other comics. So it definitely helps to have those relationships with other comics. So it's like somebody may say, hey man, here's a budget, let's put this show together. So then I'll pull my guys in. Somebody else may have a show, and they'll say, hey, they give them a budget and say, hey, get this who you want, and they'll say, oh yeah, I'll get somebody and get Renard. So it's like we all kind of recycle the work, back and forth with each other.
That's cool. So, like you said, you talk about dating and all that, your skits. When you're on a date, do they expect for you to be funny?
You know what? I think most of the women I've gone out with maybe didn't meet me through comedy. So it's like, I guess, sometimes they'll like, we go out and then they're like, oh, you funny. It's like, oh yeah. And yeah, some people don't know. They're like, they don't, I guess because comedy is a industry where, whether you've been doing it 2 weeks or you've been doing it 20 years, you can still say you're a comic, so I think some people, they may meet comics and say, oh, okay, this, you might meet somebody who's just been doing it for a year or something, and they may be okay funny, but they're still working on it. And then you got veterans that are, or more confident in their funny, so. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't or if they do meet me at a show, then I think they're like, okay, I've seen what you do, so whatever you do is, I guess, is if I laugh, it's a bonus on this date.
Okay. Wow. So when you're meeting people, like, do you tell them you're a comedian, or do you tell them you push the shoe thing? Like, I restore shoes.
I tell them comedy. That's like the biggest job I have. So it's about shoes, education, then I'm sorry, comedy, education, then shoes.
Okay. So
the shoes is a side hustle. I dig that. Yeah. Push that side hustle.
Yeah, that's my pandemic job that I picked up in the pandemic. What'd you say?
No, I was just like, yeah, push them shoes. You got to push them. Just man. I want you to get your education. I am a comedian, but man, your shoes, bro. We need to talk about that. Let's negotiate on them shoes. I could do it for 40. 35 if you're feeling bad right now. That's the only thing. But it's really cool though. But to kind of go back to a question, since she so eloquently put the question, when you started coming up and then you started hitting, because like she said, Zanies is a part of the circuit. I never had the opportunity to actually go and see the comedians, but I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy, and I know the circuit, and I know Zanies is definitely a part of it. When you really started getting more shows and more gigs over the nation, did you start to lose friends? Were they just like, man, you out there doing comedy and stuff, man, you ain't brought me on. You ain't told me, man, come on, man. Why you doing me like that? Did you see that, or did you see friends kind of fall off, or with comedy being kind of a lonely situation, did they stay on your team?
Nah. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've been blessed, man. For the most part, the kind of my circle. There are 3 other comics that went to my high school while we were in high school together, and we all end up becoming comedians. So and also, like, when I started out doing comedy, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And I had my homeboy B Cub, shout out to him, but he's a comic in Nashville, and he got voted funniest in high school. So he was the loud funny that everybody knew about. So when I started doing comedy, I was like, yeah, let me pull him in, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, he was funny guy too, and I was like, oh yeah, it'd be great to have some of my actual day one friends, on the journey. So so like they're like me, Ron, Mike James, and B Cub, all went to college together. And matter of fact, that's the tour we're doing now. We had the Funny Lane tour with me, Mike James, and B Cub. They were pushing, but yeah, we all went to high school together, so we got to work together. And as far as like the other friends, I was fortunate to keep most of them. I didn't, traveling does kind of keep you on the road, and you do kind of, lose touch with some people sometimes, but for the most part, I think, I know I have friends that, they got married, people take different routes, so, I also, my mindset was to not say that we're not cool and we're not falling off. I just understand that people grow, and, if so-and-so's, life journey was to have a family and have wife and kids and dog or whatever else they want to have, then I gotta respect that too. You know what I'm saying? And they're amazing in what they're doing. So yeah, I really been fortunate, man. I've had a lot of friends that started out with me in this journey that are still around. So yeah, I've been real fortunate.
Your character. Yeah, that's a testament to your character though, because you are a good person.
Yeah, I try to be.
One other question now, since you've been doing comedy, for how long now? For
this is 23 years.
23 years. So that means that you have hit the circuit. You've done LA, you've done New York, you've done Philly, you've done the Chicago routes and all of that stuff. In all of your travels, what comedian gave you that advice that changed the whole pace of your show, that really just gave you that extra oomph that you needed to really go out there? What advice did they give you, and what did they tell you, and where were you when they told you?
Let's see. Made that advice to keep the. You know what? Probably. I think when I was in Chicago, that was a big moment. So I had So of course, as you go to Chicago, and Chicago's a big gang city. It's
right.
Everybody pretty much is kind of affiliated. Like you be sitting there talking to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I used to gang bang on the corner of 79th," and I'm like, "Pastor Jenkins, what?"
Yeah.
So they're like, "Yeah, it's just part of life here." So it was like, all the comics, they would have these jokes about gangs and, living in Chicago and all this stuff. And so, I'm moving there. So I'm like, I'm just, Nashville was just, there were gangs in Nashville, but nothing to the extent of, how Chicago, is or was. And, and so, yeah, I would try to come up with like some little gang jokes and stuff, or like neighborhood jokes and stuff like that. And when my friend partners told me, he was just like, he was bald head. He was just like, hey man, like, we know you're not from here. You didn't grow up this gang culture. You're like, don't worry about that. You're like, do you, be you, And so when I started doing my educational material, I think the crowds were kind of like, okay, this is authentic. This is you, So I think that was a big moment where I was just like, okay, yeah, let me just tap into who I am and tap into my life experiences, and then just give the crowd, bring the crowd to that world, So. And as opposed to trying to adapt too hard to meet different comedy scenes or whatever.
So were you like the favorite teacher in high school, and when you're teaching school, or they're like, I just want to go in your class, Mr. Renard?
Yeah, they were. I think they were. It was a tough. My first year was really tough. Because it's just. It's a first year job, so. With any job can be really tough the first year, because at that point, you're trying to learn how to, what do the students respond to, what do the kids, how do I deal with them, how do I relate to them, what are they capable of doing on paper, what are they not, so it's just kind of figuring out, and then trying to figure out how to bring everybody together to learn some theater or whatever. So. But yeah, I did. Because at the time I was only a year or two out of college myself, so I was only about 4 or 5 years older than the seniors. So so they were just like, my principal was like, hey, you might need to wear a suit every day because the kids are gonna think you're them. They think you one of them. So I would dress up. And one day we had like a dress down day. One of the teachers was like, hey, young man, you need to be in class. I'm like, I'm the theater teacher. He was like, oh, my bad. I couldn't see you from that angle, whatever. So, but yeah, I did. And of course, there's a desperate need for young black males in the public school system. So that was kind of cool thing, because you can being a black male, you can kind of connect with the students in a way that maybe some other teachers can't. And I think they looked at you. I feel like they looked at me like I could tell that they were watching me. Because anytime I would do something, they were like, "Oh, we saw that" or whatever. So I'm like, so I realized, you kind of like a father figure to some of the students. So I was like, well, I gotta make sure I make the right decision. So maybe sometime down the road, if a student's like, hey, what would Mr. Hirsch do in this situation? I know he would try to do the right thing or whatever. So so that was cool. And then I think also as a young black male student, they kind of see, they're like, okay, this is somebody from my neighborhood, from my background. They understand where I'm from and what I'm trying to do and the culture and all that type of stuff. So all that stuff makes a big difference in the classroom.
So it's quite impressive to know that you was a school teacher with today's climate, the way things are, and the way you see the education system, and just being an African American man and knowing the struggles just from being in school yourself. Like, it doesn't matter how far back we were in school, things are different. And so how does that, like, even when you're telling your jokes, do you find that, well, maybe that's a little sensitive subject, or do you feel like I need to, like, tell jokes about this, but I need to still address this? Do you use your comedy?
Yeah, I think, you try, I think you do try to, shed some light on some things. It can be, that's something that we, dealt with, a lot. I think it's, I think education is very important, but like you said, today's it's just a lot different, just with the social media, with the anxiety that the students are dealing with the cell phones, with the distractions, it's just a whole lot more that, that we didn't have to deal with, and then now the way the education system has changed now, it's like, it's kind of to a point where there's really not a lot of consequences for the students. So they're just like, we had to realize that they're smart humans too. And they realize that, when there's no consequence for this, I can keep doing this, but that's I think that's just a systematic issue that has to be readdressed. I mean, I think when you come to school, there has to be some kind of consequences, if not, then there's just chaos.
Agreed. Yeah. Like it's a whole social media moment.
Which is kind of what we have in a lot of places now, but hey, that's I guess that's how it is. I've been fortunate. I worked at a lot of kind of tough schools, and so they, like my first school I worked in, when they hired me, they told me, they were like, hey, we're gonna tell you this straight up. If you survive this year, you can teach anywhere in Nashville after this. And so I was like, okay. But, I'm just coming into it, young black male. I'm like, hey, I'm going to step in, make a difference, and, which I think I did, to an extent. But yeah, that's, it can, you can be in some tough situations, but, we work through them and make them work and do the best we can for the, for the students. Cause they, this is not some of the schools, it's not the situation that they asked to be placed in, but that's where they got placed, and, we got to make the best out of it. And, but and that's just a life lesson. You have to, whatever you're given in this world, you got to, you got to take it and get the most out of it and keep going,
Yeah, that's true. It is very true. And it is true that, they may not, that school is not equipped for them because they're so far advanced, but that's just what they have. So they make the best of what they have. So totally get that. Now, I know you're on tour, that it is the Funny Lane tour. So where are you still touring, or like you got tour dates coming up?
Yeah, we got, yes, we just, the first date was, we did Huntsville, and, then we did, we just got back from New Orleans, did New Orleans. That was really good. And then we have, Birmingham coming up next. And, I don't know, we got some talks in the works. We may end up doing one in Zany. So we'll see. That's up in the air. So hopefully that'll come through. But not yet. We're just putting dates together, for the tour, just as we go along. So those are the ones we have now. So anybody in Birmingham coming up, then make sure y'all September 8th we'll be there. So so it's a fun group. And like I said, the guys on the tour, I've known them since I was in high school. So that adds a whole different element to when you get to work with people that you get to choose your people. Huh?
It's 3 of y'all.
Yeah.
On the ticket. Okay. That's what I saw it, and I was like, I didn't know if maybe it was like more, but those are the 3 pictures that was like, these are the best. So, everybody else, they just let their name just on there, and that's it. So what do you like most about touring, and what is it that you kind of like, this is the part I hate, but this is the part that I love?
I think for me, like I think when I go out on the road and I'm gone for about 4 or 5 days, and it's like towards the end of the trip, I'm like, all right, I can't wait to get back home. And then when I'm home for about a week or 2, and I'm like, all right, that's enough of this. I can't wait to get back on the road. So it's like, I think the good, if you can get a good healthy mix of it, then it's like, it makes you appreciate both, So I of course, I love, going out on the road. You just, it's like you're going to a city where, maybe not many people know you. So of course there's the travel, nobody likes to wake up at 5 a.m. and catch a plane, but a lot of times that's what we end up doing. Because I guess with shows, especially if you have to be there that day, because you got to get the earliest flight just in case it gets canceled or pushed back, so that way you can still make the show. But I love going on the road. I love meeting all the new people and even working with new comics. That's always cool. Just, I just did Fort Walton. And got to work with a guy named Travis, a funny comedian out of Birmingham. So it's always cool to. I like to meet the other comics, and we can sit back there and talk shop. We're like, oh, okay, this is your first time doing the club. Okay, yeah, I've done this. We all it's comics, like it's a fraternity for us. So it's we all for the most part, if you get along with a person that try to help you out, I did a show at a casino one time, and. It was like a bar. It was kind of open to the casino. It was loud. You could hear all the bells and whistles. And so the other comic told me, he's like, hey, man, I've seen your set. I know you're funny. Just go up there, do your jokes. Don't expect to do it. Don't expect to hear any laughs. And don't try to do any crowd work. It's going to make it worse. I'm like, what? And so then when I got in there, I saw what he's talking about. Like, pretty much there was nobody in the room. It was like 4 people that came in the room after they had blown all their money at the casino. And so they were depressed. So they sitting in the back drinking and like not laughing. I came off stage. I was like, oh, okay. I see what you said. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
But but it's definitely cool to, I'm a foodie too. So I love to eat. So, we go out on the road. As soon as I get to town, I pull out my Yelp app. Hey, best food near me. What y'all got? So yes, I like to sightsee. I like to do that stuff. Too, and go different places. So. So that's always cool. So there are so there not too much. Usually your hotel's good. You can say every now and then you might get a bad hotel or something, but for the most part,
that would be
like, hey, make sure I got a hotel room where I don't step outside and I'm in the parking lot. give me a hotel lobby. Give me a little breakfast. Little brunch cafe area over here.
That would be the end of me. I'm telling you, like the hotel, like the carpet would be sticky, and I'd be like, I quit. I can't do it. I can't. This ain't for me. I can't do it.
Every now and then. Now for the most, when I first started, I would get some of those bad rooms. Like now, for the most part, I think everybody's kind of on the same level. They're like, okay, we need to give them somewhere good, somewhere safe, and so they can relax and do that. Because if you don't want the comic stressed out showing up to the show. You might get y'all a bad show. You get a bad hotel room.
Be like, you get ready to go on. No, I quit. I would. It would be bad. They would never book me. Never do that.
Out of all of the, not to just a quick one. Out of all of the times for comedians that are really trying to get in the game and starting doing what you're doing, you're a vet in the game now, 23 years. That's definitely a standing. Mm-hmm. When was a time that you bombed, and what did you do to bounce back from that? When you just come outside and just like, no, shut up, get the hell out of here, boo, boo. When you got that, what did you do to bounce back from that? And what would you tell a young comedian when he gets his first taste of that no, we don't like you?
Yeah, okay. Okay. So, first time that happened to me, I was at TSU, and it was like an AKA Apollo thing like that. So But anytime folks see Apollo on something, they ready to boo off the rip. So that sometimes it really don't matter what you do. Like if they ain't boo the first couple 3 people, they like, hey, okay, we ain't got our boo
You're done.
yet. So yeah. So I was just gonna do one of my little skits or whatever, my little closing joke. And so my friend was hosting, so they threw me up real quick. And as soon as I came up, got ready to do it, I pulled the mic up, and the cord fell out the mic. And so the whole crowd, they just started booing. But yes, I didn't even get to go into it. They were like, they started booing like before I even got into it. So of course, like, so they did that first night. Like I came off, and I was like, I was real embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Go home. I was like, yeah, if I didn't. Yeah, it was like I didn't want to get out the bed next day. You're like, man, I gotta, this happened in front of the whole school. You're like, man, but yeah, I ended up going back on campus, and I it was surprised. Like I got like 4 or 5 people that kind of saw me, pulled me to the side, like, hey man, hey, don't worry about that, man. Hey, you funny. I didn't seen you. Keep doing your thing. So that was really big for me. To have some other people to, some other students to be like, yeah, man, nah, don't worry about that, man. Just keep doing you. You know what I'm saying? We proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. So, so that was the first one. And the second one I did Uptown Comedy Club in Atlanta. So I've only done, I think I was only doing comedy like maybe a year or so at that point. So I get there, and so and Atlanta's one of those cities that it's a tough comedy city. It's like they always say, if you can do Atlanta, Chicago, New York, St. Louis, Memphis, you can do cities like that. You good everywhere. Those gonna be some of the toughest rooms you ever gonna do. So and so then they kind of had a night where they they were known to boo or whatever. But I never. Every time I go into Atlanta, I would just go to TSU games. I'm thinking, okay, Atlanta's gonna be nice, upscale. I'm dressed up, and got my little button up Carl Kanai shirt, and so I'm dressed up, So then, but then I get there, and it's like it's Bankhead, it's like it's Hood, it's like T.I., like all those those folks.
Straight Bankhead.
So I'm like, oh. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this. I'm like at that first off, I'm way overdressed for this. And so then they called me up to the stage, and so I go up, I go with. And when I walk into the stage, the guy shouts out, and he's like, he said something. And I'm like, what'd you say? What? And he wouldn't say it. But the whole side of the side of the room he was on just fell out laughing. They were just laughing hard. And so I said, okay, whatever. So I go ahead and do my first joke. And so I do the joke. The left side of the room, they start laughing. But the other side of the room, they're still talking, and then they get to booing, and it goes around the room. And so they boo me off. I come off. And so I'm like, okay. And so then it was a guy in the front row. He's like, nah, man, he was funny, man. He was funny. Bring him back. And so the host looks at me backstage, and he's like, okay, well, you know what? We know his people. He came a long way. We're going to bring him back. And I'm sitting on the side of the stage like, no, don't bring me back. And so I was like, yeah, I ain't ready for this. And so, so they bring me back up. So I'm like, I'm on the spot. So I'm like, all right, I go back up. And then that's the story of how I got booed twice in the same night.
Wow.
Yeah, so I came up. Yeah, so they booed me off, and so and at first I kind of felt kind of bad, but then I realized like the next 3 or 4 comics that they put up got booed too, and so I was like, oh, okay, so they just really boo happy. So like it wasn't until they got to like what's his name, bro? Y'all know him as Lil Duval now, but Lil Duval went up that night, and of course he'd been on Comic View at that point, and super funny. Him and Double D, my man Double D, shout out Double D. He was on the show, and they laughed at them, and then they pretty much booed everybody else, and I don't think they were allowed to boo the headliner or something like that. So, but yeah, I think the thing I would tell like a younger comic when that happens is like it's only up from here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty much the worst thing that can happen to you on stage. That's what every comic's fear is. When you first start out, like, man, I hope I don't get booed. So but yeah, like once that's out the way, now you're like, okay, you've been through it, you survived it. And now let's go home and let's work and get harder and get funnier, so hopefully, that it doesn't happen again, so
build that tough skin.
Yeah,
you gotta build that tough skin up. Yeah. You got to build that tough skin up. Make sure,
yeah. And you need it. I think it's good. I think every comic needs to be booed at some point. So yeah. I mean, it's a tough thing to deal with, but it's like once you've done that, with steps of, of course we know sometimes we've seen some hecklers approach the stage and stuff like that, but that's kind of rare. But yeah, it's like I think a good healthy booing is good for every comic, at least one. You need that. You need that to toughen up your skin.
Yeah, it's all the way. That's the only thing you can do is just try to bounce back, keep a tough skin on it and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna return it back a little bit and a little bit bougie and let her answer it right there. But now I have a request for you. The next time that you get up there at Zana's and it's an open mic night and everything, pull her up.
Okay.
That's a comedian right there. That's a comedian right there. You got to look the one liner she be coming with, dude. I'm just like,
Hey,
sometimes I have to stop.
Sarcasm with an underlying dark humor. That does not make a comic. That makes an asshole.
that you don't know till you get on stage. You don't know till you get on stage. You gotta go. Bring her up on stage.
Yeah, because most times, like people. Yeah, that's where the comedy starts. Just from you telling jokes to your friends, and then then somebody's like, "Hey, you should try comedy." So you just never know where because you got the comedy has to come from somewhere. You got to you start off with a nugget of either I think I'm funny or my friends think I'm funny, and then you take it on stage.
No. I don't speak Ebonics, so therefore I'm just really good with sarcasm with an underlying dark humor. That is it. That is not comedy. That is my personality. That's the asshole, and I'll take.
Okay. I'll take on the tour of the open mics in the city if you want to hit the stage on one. I got you.
You already, I'm gonna kill you. That is one of our private jokes.
No, hey, if we get the opportunity, you put me out there on Front Street. Come on, comedian. Come on now. Just hit him with a one-liner. Hit him with one.
And that's the thing about, I think, with comedy is like, that's the thing I love about open mics. Like open mics, they, starting out, of course, it's a necessity. It's like, but open mics, it's like, I love open mic because it's like you can come in there and everybody's in that room. So you got comics that are just starting for the first time, all the way up to comics that been doing it for 20, 30 years, and they all just trying to figure out a new joke for the week. So and most of them, like it's like it's the bar is kind of low. Nobody like you. I can come in here and kill this open mic. I can come here and bomb this open mic. It doesn't matter. Because we're practicing. We're just trying to get better.
Your good jokes. I would just go to YouTube and look at your good jokes. I would go to YouTube, look at all your good jokes, and write them down and come up there and spit them out, see how they play. I steal jokes.
And they're going to be like, these jokes sound awful familiar. Well, we heard these before.
I'm going to say, well, you heard, if he sound like with me, then you may want to question that. But I'm just telling you what I heard. They my jokes. They coming out of my mouth, okay? I did a research. It's just like my hair. I bought it.
If y'all want to go out one night, I'll take y'all out with me. I'll let y'all. Because to be honest, like when I first did comedy, I went to open mic and I just watched the first time, and I was like, okay, let me sit back, observe, let me see what's going on here, and then the next time I came back, that's when I actually tried. Cause I wrote comedy for like 2 years before I even went on stage. I was just thinking of if I did do comedy, what would I say? So I had my little notebook, and I would write that stuff out, and it was, and I finally started trying it out, but yeah, definitely, yeah. That's the beginning.
I am a showstopper in my head, right? A couple of shots, oh my god! But if I had to do that and I knew it was planned, I'm stealing jokes. I'll tell a knock here and there. Like I'm stealing jokes. I don't. Yeah, that's what you write your own material. Sure do.
Yeah, I write own material. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. It's like the comedy police out now. So yeah, if you do something that somebody else did or something similar, 9 times out of 10, somebody will get back to you or get back to somebody else, and they're like, oh yeah, such and such steal a joke. Oh, such and such did this joke. Hey, who did this joke first? So but I mean that's a part of the game too. Yeah, I mean there are joke thieves out here, that do that. And one of my partners, a comedian food stamp from Atlanta, Fredo Davis, he told me, he was like, yeah man, he was like, if you got a joke and somebody steals it, He said the best thing to do, you can take it back and make it even better, or you can throw it away. So that's your option.
If Donald Trump can run for president and he's a felon, right? I should be able to steal a joke and can't nobody say nothing because we have no more morals. Exactly. We don't have no ethics or morals, so therefore we can stand on the stage and tell your jokes together because I'm stealing them. Okay, I'm telling you all the shots. You know what's coming.
We'll be a comedy team. We'll be the comedy duo.
Okay, you tell it first, I tell it second. They're getting twice for their money. The way I see it.
Yeah, so we're gonna put our names together. We're gonna call it Monocard.
Okay, you gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell it, and then we're gonna see who get the best laugh. And then I'll say, well, one of us can't tell it no more because I killed it. You didn't. Then you got this many claps. I got some. It's mine.
Yeah,
That's how we're gonna start. That's how we're gonna start doing it. Like I said, if Donald Trump can run for president, I can steal jokes and tell people, yes, I know that is your joke. I'm going to steal it.
I get it. I understand.
This is up first. So what projects outside of like your tour, because I saw a movie that I definitely hear about. What other projects do you have? Like movies or who knows? I mean, you could be hosting some shows or what is it?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Definitely would love to do some more films. I just got off with my editor a couple days ago, so he was getting my film and TV reel together so I can submit for other for more acting work and stuff like that. So definitely I want to dip back into theater too. The theater that was my first love. So I want to try and get a play in or something like that. It's been tough like past couple of years since I have been traveling and stuff so much, and usually the plays can take up a few weeks of your time. But I think I'm feeling that itch to go in there and work the stage again. So definitely just looking to do some more acting, maybe some voiceover work, do some more touring. I've kind of dipped my toe in it a little bit. I got a lot of friends want me to do food reviews and stuff like that. So everybody knows how much I love to eat. Love to go and check out new food places and stuff like that. So that I'm thinking about that. That's on the horizon. So I'm working on that.
Look at you. You need to call yourself Little Onion. You got all these little layers. Peeling them out.
Hey, we just peeling them back.
Making them cry. So with that, you would do Broadway if you had the opportunity.
I'm a theater trained artist, so I was like, I'm not real big on the musicals like that, but yeah, definitely some drama. Like people don't. All my stuff I did was drama starting out, so I think it wasn't until like my second to last play where I got a kind of comical character to play, but yeah, that's I'm August Wilson. I'm drama. Lorraine Hansberry. We did all that. That's Pearl Cleage. That's where I came from in college. So that's I learned all that stuff. But I was like I didn't. The other theater actors that were at the school. They knew about this stuff, and they were like, oh man, we got this new play, August Wilson. Oh yeah, I definitely auditioned for that. I'm like, man, who's August Wilson? So I got into that. And got to acquainted with the different playwrights, and got to love doing that. So yes, I'm definitely interested in doing some more theater and some more. I like doing film acting too. Like we did the short film. The short film was fun to do. So that's so I definitely want to do some stuff like that. And that was a comedy, so I got to play around with it. I always
You're talking about theater, and I can see my co-host right now, because that's y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his thing right there. Like he like narration and all that good stuff, and I'm like, huh?
Oh yeah. Everyone know people like, oh man, you got a great radio voice. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, and I love doing radio too. Radio's
radio is fun.
I've sat in with Kenny Smooth Morning Show a couple times, and they have me come in and out of there sometimes. So that's always fun, to do with the with the whole city, with Kenny and
you like your
Chris
voice
Bowles.
just went down 2 octaves when you started talking about
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the voice does what it wants. I don't try to control it anymore. The voice does what it wants.
But when you said the theater,
I might go falsetto in a minute. You just never know what it's gonna do.
That's it. But when you said theater, though, I was just like, okay, he's a theater guy, so he understands. I was more backstage as far as technical. I did the lighting, I did the makeup, I did all of that.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to help somewhat assist direct and everything. Like, no, stage right. That means the other side. We had to get them right on that. Yeah. It, the lighting gels and all of that stuff. It was insane. The first dramatic play that we did, it just so happens that the person that was up there acting, she was really going through something. And then she just poured it all out there on stage. The whole audience was just crying. I'm just like, why is everybody in here crying? I'm just like, what? Not you. Not you.
Not you.
Hey, look, you'd have outed yourself.
I just said nothing about you. See, you outed yourself on that.
You ain't mentioned no name, did you?
Not
I just had a strong jazz hand. That was it.
But when I saw the effect of theater, though, and just the dramatic side of it, it was shocking. I never knew that theater could actually do that. So I just kept going with it. But like I said, I went to a black university, so they did theater for a little while, then they didn't. That's just how it was. So we saw TSU, Southern, Grambling. We played them all. We dealt with them all. It was interesting, but
no, I can see both of y'all now. They're auditioning people for their jazz hands and stuff. Like, can you do this? That's what y'all was doing. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell nobody. They can't see it, but y'all get some strong ones. You know what I'm saying? You had the strong jazz hands. People can't see you, but I'm gonna tell them. We got an Al B. Shore Theater Broadway jazz hand rent and cat comedian. Like, that's a lot. And he's a student. So you are, like I said, I'll be sure. Just so they can get a visit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That'll give them an idea, that's for sure. Oh man, that's incredible. That's incredible work. Like I said, and kudos out to you for actually teaching. Kudos for you out there teaching. Thank you, I appreciate that more than anything else. I grew up around the educational system. My parents were educators, and to have black male educators out there really doing something for the kids, I appreciate that more than anything else. And like I said, now for those that are listening, we can see each other, but y'all can't see us. So this is strictly audio. The man's got the 1619 project back there. So anybody that's got that book back there, you got respect for me, because that's heavyweight right there. Okay. Yeah. So I know the game on that.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
A pretty book.
You want to be real. I think as a comic, you definitely want to know as much as you possibly can. About history and different stuff. Yeah. You never know what's going to inspire, the next joke or anything like that too. So.
Exactly.
I just thought it was real pretty, and I was like, oh, he trying to like a really deep, because he's comedians, so people take him serious. But I was like, that'd be cute on the end table. That's probably where it was at. But you go, okay, no matter. It's audio, but I ain't gonna say
I'm still a reader. I'm a reader. I do audiobooks too, but I like to. I'll always keep a good book in my bag, in my trunk or something.
There you go. That's how you do it.
I keep one in my bag too, just in case I gotta swing it. But that's just me.
You see why I say get? You see why I say get on stage? You see why I say get on stage? You see what I mean now? Get her on stage.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pull out. I'm telling you, we're gonna go ahead to go on the open mic tour of the city.
You don't want it. So would you do a reality show? And if you would, what kind of reality show? Like, would you seriously do? Because you're funny. People might want to see that.
I don't know. I think it would. It would take it would take some convincing to get me on a reality show. Just because I know that some of it is kind of, you know, taken out of context, or they can edit it to make you look or a certain way and stuff like that. So and I found out that they give you other information, you know, that you might not know, or they'll tell you somebody said something about you and maybe they didn't. So so that it would probably take me some convincing to do something like that. But I you know, never say never though.
You could be the Kim Kardashian.
If I had more control over the series, maybe so. But I know they want everything. They want that camera on 24 hours so they can catch the juicy stuff. So never say never. You never know. I could end that. You might see me on Love and Hip Hop. You know, I've been in Glorilla's DMs. Yeah, I've been in Glorilla's DMs, so we might end up together. So you just never know. So
not the Rilla. Oh no. Oh.
That's 95 degrees.
Yeah, she right down in Memphis. She might be the closest one I can get. See, Megan too far down in Houston. That's too far. Yeah, so but yeah, in Memphis I can make that 3-hour drive. Me and Glorilla, we can make that work.
Megan might be too tall for you. I'm just saying.
I told her Megan.
She might be too tall. Megan like 7 feet.
She's
heels on. She's tall. But I mean, I am 5.
Okay,
I'm 5'3", so everybody's 7 feet to me.
I'm had to Google her then.
5'4" people fit 7 feet to me.
5'4" people. Okay, yeah.
I'm 5'3".
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
everybody's tall.
We'll see. Maybe we go out. I just tell her she can't wear no heels.
Do like I do. When people are taller than me, I'm like, let's walk diagonal, so people walking towards us may stick me. Don't they work? In my brain, that works because my daughter's 7.
Yeah, you be like, you walk on the sidewalk, let them walk on the street.
I make them walk that. So I'm like, you walk. We have to be like perfect diagonal. So when people walking, they like, oh, they're the same height until they walk up on us, and they're like, oh, they're not. Illusion.
Hey, whatever works for you. I'm with
it.
Let me have it.
There you go. There you go. Good man. Smart man. Well-educated man. Very good, sir. Good move. Yeah, let her have it because it.
So I'm going to ask you some fast questions that we kind of do as something fun, and you don't get to think about it. You just get to like off the rip stuff. Okay. What would you say was your favorite joke and who? What was your favorite joke? Who told it?
Ooh, oh man, I'm gonna say K-Dub and the him walking into a black food establishment. I think that's for my favorite. If y'all ever get a chance, that's my homeboy K-Dub. He's from Memphis, but he works out of Atlanta. But he's on tour with T.I. But real funny. Like I can see this joke 10 times and I laugh every time he does it.
Oh my gosh. What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? I think sometimes random craziness, just to see somebody do something that you know they weren't supposed to do. Sometimes I think that can be funny. Yeah, just to see. I mean, I love. Sometimes I'm a people watcher too, so it's cool. I may just take me an edible and watch people act. You know, just watch them be them and just be like, oh man, this dude is really crazy. I can't believe he really gonna just say that. You know. But
I'm not saying
probably probably seeing people just do the most when they know they weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm not the person that can eat an edible and people watch. I already have like random thoughts in my head when I see people, so it's not a good thing. I tend to be too honest.
Well, as long as you don't say it out loud, you cool.
Oh, but I do.
Yeah, you gonna say it out loud? Okay, I got you.
Say it out loud.
Yeah, we got to put you further back in the bar.
Yeah, but I get loud. I also solved cold case mysteries. Like I solved Big and Tupac death like one night.
Okay.
All I had was
Okay.
counting. So, you know, like
You
got questions. Ask me who do I see around you. I probably could tell you. Like I see.
Okay, so you got the okay. We'll talk off camera.
Yeah,
I want to know the details.
So what would you say was your favorite city, and why would you say like that's your every time you go, like you just love going to this city outside of your hometown?
I probably definitely New Orleans. That's the first time I went to a city and I was experiencing it, and my spirit or soul was just like, hey, you got to come back here no matter what. You got to come back to this place. So but yeah, I mean, it's just a city that, you know, with the architecture, with the food, with the celebrations, with the festivals, it's just I don't know. It's like it's a city where everybody just, you know, you feel free when you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's, you know, you can walk outside with a cowboy hat and some Jordans or whatever, and then the people around you in the city just like, all right, cool, all right, yeah, do you know? So that's definitely and my next one probably would be I'd say Tampa. I always love going down to Tampa. I love Florida anyway, but I like hot. You know, I'm a hot boy, so I like send me anywhere where the sun is at, and I will be cool. It can be burning up. It's cool as long as it's hot, as long as it's not cold.
I thought you were going to say because I'm a high yellow. I can see that. I can see that. We do lay it. I get it.
That too. So yeah.
It matches.
I'm one leader. I'm leader of the light skin delegation. So just in case anybody needs any questions, whatever. So. And if anybody wants me to explain to you how Drake really won the battle against Kendrick, just hit me up. I'll explain that to you too.
Only we know how to explain it, okay? If we go by the paper sack rule. We go by the paper sack rule. If you know, you know.
Whoever got the most money, huh? Oh, you said the paper sack rule?
No, the paper bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I throw that out because if you're not educated, you might not know. That's why I say if you know, you know.
Oh yeah. We know how that is. But, yeah, so you got to pass that to get in some organizations back in the day.
Even now.
Very much so.
Yeah.
What would you, since you're a foodie, what is your favorite food and from what city?
Favorite food. Oh man, I would say, I don't know, maybe the curry goat. Maybe I think the best one I had. The best curry goat I had was probably it was either Chicago or Charlotte. That were my two favorite spots for the curry goat. But yeah, I love Korean food.
I had the curry in Chicago. Man, when you said curry goat, I'm like, yes. Right there. Man, that curry goat in Chicago. Woo, man, that was so good. Man, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I've been missing out on it all my life. When I moved to Chicago, my roommate, he had some one day. I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, it's curry goat, man. It's off the chain. Try it. He gave me a piece, and I was hooked ever since. After that, I was like, yeah, that's what I look for. I'm like, yeah, and that's the litmus test. Like when you go into a restaurant, you know, you always have certain things. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try a certain thing here. So like if I go to, I try your goat out first. If the goat ain't hitting, I'm not.
Yeah, we can't.
I'm not looking for nothing else. I'm not looking for nothing else on your menu. Yeah, if your goat, your plantain's not right, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this one.
That chicken tender ain't right. Out.
Yeah. You know that's what we do. You know, we'll go to a restaurant, try the wings out first. Like, okay, if y'all mess the wings up, then okay, we not. I don't know if I can do anything else over here.
Your chicken ain't chickening right now, so I gotta go.
Yeah. Chicken raw. Yeah. Pizza. Yeah, I guess I think one of the best pizzas I had was I love the Detroit pizzas off the chain. I love Chicago pizza too. But we had some pizza in New York last time when we were up there, and it was amazing. Just pepperoni. That's all it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah. I love
pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza. I mean, pizza.
Yeah, it's just good comfort food. You put bread and cheese together, you can't go wrong.
The New York pizza hit just a little taste different.
Certain age,
just a little taste different.
Yeah.
After 35, bread and cheese can go wrong.
You said?
Bread and cheese. Yeah,
it comes with a peel on the side to help you out.
Okay. Well, we'll say if you know what you're doing, it should come out right. You can't. I don't know. I take that back. I did go to a place the other day in Nashville. And they put way too much cheese on my pizza. I was like, I didn't even need all this cheese. I didn't know I had to ask for light cheese here. But sometimes
I hate when people try to give you a hookup and you didn't ask. You know what I'm saying? But they like, I got you.
The cheese wasn't the problem. The problem that I had was the tomato sauce. If that tomato sauce ain't just right in combination with the cheese and that's when you're gonna have to have a. You're gonna have to worship the porcelain god.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch that sauce.
Never let me down. Papa John's ain't never done me wrong.
Okay. I like Papa John's. I rock with Papa John's.
But I do love New York style pizza in Mount Juliet. Whoop, whoop. People need to stop sleeping on it.
Okay. I New York style. I never got that recommendation. Okay.
Really good. Now look, don't go and be like trash. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, like don't just.
Hey, but you know what? Like food is sometimes food and it's like can be like comedy because they're both subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like one person may really love spicy food, but you may not really like spicy food. You know, so just like with comics, you know, there's somebody out there that says Chris Rock ain't funny, but you know but he's been able to make a career out of it, and you know, so it's like you're not gonna please everybody, but if you can please majority of the people, then you good.
Yes, that is absolutely
then you got enough to stay in business at least. Yeah.
Because I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but that's why you got soda. So you're gonna be all right. Either way, you was thirsty. You get that soda. Either way, you was thirsty. You was parched. And my friend know all about parchness.
Oh my God! See, you see what I deal with. You see what I deal with daily.
Yeah, I see what she's doing too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just hey, you know, just give me some teach and treat. We good.
Oh God.
Nobody says that unless you're from the hood. Don't know about that.
I ain't got that.
That's one of my favorites. Hey, look, I try to keep it stocked at the house.
Oh my God. You are definitely, you have, like I said, call you baby onion because there's a lot about you I did not know on top of the things that I'd done my research on and just the things that I didn't. Like, I knew you were a good person and I knew you were funny and I know that you are very hardworking. I have seen you when you first started doing comedy. Like I said, in Network Place, I was shocked. But I have been back twice because for some and they little chick thing, really good. But people know your name, and I have mentioned you in other conversations, and people that are not in the, you know, they're not comedians, but they like good quality stuff, and they know your name. So your name is out there. Your name has weight to it. You are doing a great job to know that you are an African American man who's been into education, and you're shining a light on something that's totally different. I don't know too many African American people that's like, no, I love, you know, theater. I love this. I love that. Because I love things like that. I love opera, different things. And a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, but it's just it's different. It's something you learn. You get to like really study something. When you don't know about it, you pay more attention to the little things. So the fact that hear you say, oh no, you know, I like theater. I like the stage. I like dramas. That's something that there are some little African American kids, brown and black, that's a secret. But to hear somebody actually say it that they're a comedian and they've been to the Apollo, they've done this, they've done that, that's inspiring. And so that is one of the main reasons that I'm so glad that you decided to be here on Completely Yoked. So I mentioned the Apollo. I can say I was real proud. I was a proud Black woman. I was like, oh, I know him. Oh,
Yeah.
I saw him. I was proud. I was so happy, and I could see the joy in your face. Like you could tell, like that was a moment. So how did that moment come about, and how was it? How was the moment? I mean, I know you had to be nervous, but you also had to be proud.
Yeah. So I guess I came into place. I auditioned for Def Comedy Jam like maybe 3 or 4 times in my career, and I met the producer a couple times, and but never really led to anything, and so then one time I did the last time I auditioned for him in Chattanooga. He pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey man, I like your stuff, man." He's like, "Here's my card." He's like, "I can't promise you anything, but he's like, all I can say is just keep in touch. Stay close. If I get something, I'll try. If I get an opportunity or something, I'll try to squeeze you in." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So basically, like it was like a couple of months or maybe years went by. Every time I had a really big show, I would send him the flyer, or when I had the movie come out, or so whatever I had going on in my life, something big, I would always send it to him. And then he asked me. He said, "Hey man, I got this show in New Jersey, and if you can come rock that out, it could lead to you doing the Apollo." So I said, "Okay." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So I'll go down there, and I get there, and I'm meeting other comedians, and I get to talking to them. I'm like, "Yeah man, so how long y'all been doing comedy?" And everybody's like, "Oh, 4 years, 3 years, 5 years." I'm like, "Oh," I realized I'm like, "Oh, I'm I'm closing this show." I didn't realize that. I was like, I'm the veteran on the show, beside the host. The host was a veteran comic. So I went in. So he came. He was like, "Yeah, man, just do like 20 minutes or so." But then like the crowd was really good. I ended up doing like 40 or something. And so I came off, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you did your thing." Saying like we'll be in touch. And then I guess like maybe a couple months later, he called and he's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "If you're free in April, I got a spot for you at the Apollo if you want to do it." So I was like, "All right." I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." So, because I mean, just to do a historic venue like that, it just that's just otherworldly. Like it's and sometimes like some of the things that kind of have gone past in the game is like some of these things you can't do them anymore. Like Comic View's not around like that anymore. Def Jam's not like that, and those are goals that a lot of us comics had coming into the game. He was like, "Oh yeah, I would love to do Def Jam. I want to do these shows or whatever." So, So then when the opportunity came to do the Apollo, I was like, "Man, this is big." And it was like, even Nashville, got behind me and backed me on it really, really tough. Lots of people reached out. We had maybe about 40 to 50 people from Nashville and from TSU that came to the show. So that was a big help. I had lots of familiar faces in the crowd, along with all the New Yorkers, so yeah. So that was my first time performing in New York. So I was like, they were like, "Man, you just stepped in the fire. You just like, yeah, you just gonna start off at the Apollo." So I was like, "Yeah," but I was like, it had been on my bucket list to do New York, but after doing that experience, now I want to go back and maybe spend a week or something there. It's kind of because I didn't realize how big the city was. The city's so big. We were there for like 4 or 5 days. I think we maybe saw 15% of it. So I was like, "Oh man!" So I was like, "Yeah, I definitely want to go back and try to see see some of the other boroughs and stuff like that, and just kind of move around and check out the scene."
That's dope. Like I said, when I saw it, I was like a proud, like, "Ooh, I know him" type person. I was so excited. You would have thought that we were sisters and brothers. The way I was like, "Yup." I was very excited, and to see that moment.
Yeah, some people were like, "Oh man, don't go up there and get booed."
I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if he'll get Sandman."
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. So I was like, you hear that? He's like, I really didn't know what to expect, and but it was like, yeah. As soon as I came up, I think I made a joke about the DJ or about something he was playing, and And from the first jump, they were on board. They were laughing. So I'm like, all right, cool. So they were laughing. I thought maybe I might have to work a little harder to get them on my side or whatever, but yeah, I came out. They were good. They laughed at everything. They were fun. They were like, they didn't heckle, but they were vocal. You know what I'm saying? Not heckling, but just like, yeah. You know, they agreeing with what I was saying and stuff like that. So I was like, you know, New Yorkers, they want to be heard. You know, so I was like, but they came with good, you know, positive energy. So I was like, yeah, it was real cool. So definitely.
And that is common of right now. Everybody wants to laugh. You know, everybody right now. Everybody needs to laugh. Everybody needs to laugh right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't laugh at the situation, then it's gonna beat you. You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to get to laugh about everything that's going on in today's climate is a gift, and it's something that's needs like medicine right now. Everybody needs it. So it's very it's inspirational, and it's something that's just like you know, people that can't sit back and like, man, it's dope. Like, I wished I could, or everybody used the granddaddy joke on everybody, or the finger joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not funny, but let's laugh at it to make their day. It's really impressive, and it's something that, like I said, everybody can't do it. And so you can have a good one-liner, but to be able to make people laugh is truly a gift, and it's something that you can be born with it. You can work at it. But if it's truly something meant for you, you'll be good at it. And so I do consider you one of the greats for me.
Thank you. And that's definitely one of the highlights of like doing comedy. You know, when you do a show, those are special shows. When you do a show and people come up to you after the show and they're like, "Hey man, I ain't laughed since my brother died," or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it's been a year since I smiled. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we thought you was real fun. You know what I'm saying? So like those are like, that makes you feel like, okay, I think I'm doing you're doing something good and positive for people around you and the world in general. Just to be able to give that
you know, like, and not only are you doing something good and positive, you are representing our community in a positive light. When we're there, everybody's always trying to dim our community and show the negative stuff. So to be able to have this platform to show that, no, there are great people out here doing great things and giving people laughter, like I said, to me, it's medicine. And so to me, you're a doctor and you're giving what people need. You're prescribing exactly what's needed, except we're just not getting high from it. So if you could just add that in there, I think.
I like that though. I like Dr. Hirsch. I like that.
There you go. Just the right gummy. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hit her with a gummy one at a time. Then you really be shaking it up.
Now I gotta find out where I can get an honorary degree somewhere. All the universities, let me know if y'all got any honorary degrees laying around. Doctors, let me know. I'll come through and pick it up.
TSU might be calling you.
Look, hey, put it right next to my 619 project.
There you go. Okay. Put it right up there against you. Because I seriously was like, he is really, I thought I told him it was audio, but okay, with the book in the background, but I get it. Not a one-hit wonder.
Okay, you did tell me that.
So I was like, okay, you know, they put the books up in the back. He like, yeah, I'm more than just a comic. But I got a list.
I got all my Walter Mosley books back there. That's my favorite author. So anybody, if y'all looking for a good murder mystery or something, they made The Devil in the Blue Dress, and then he was also he was an associate or he had something to do with the writing for Snowfall too. If anybody saw that series, but yeah, definitely a really
I saw it. I saw Snowfall.
Writer.
I saw Snowfall.
Yeah, and I think he probably his duty probably picked up more when John Singleton passed. I think they had like one more season to do, so I think he probably picked up more of the writing duties. And the ending that they did on Snowfall was a classic Walter Mosley ending. I was like, okay, I see that. It looked real Walter Mosley-ish.
I think it was before my time. I graduated in '95, so.
What?
Don't know anything about that.
Walter Mosley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nah, he was what was the first one? He did that movie with Denzel. That was, I think it was 97. And see, I get that one. See, I got that one up on the wall too. That's the Devil in the Blue Dress. Within, I think they came out 90. It was 94 or 97.
It was mid 90s somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact. Yeah, I'd have to IDMB it just to make sure.
It was 94 because I graduated in 95.
You graduated 90 what?
We're gonna go. We're gonna go with 94. We're going with 94. We're going with 94.
Hey, I'm getting ready for that comedy night, ain't we?
No. I will be in the audience. Okay, I will definitely laugh and clap it up. You know, even if it's not that funny, I'll still be like, "Woo!" Okay, I'll give you one of those. I'm supportive. It has definitely been. Man, this has been so much fun for me. What would be your up and coming? Like, where can we get tickets? Where can we see your name? I know we got the tour. You got tour dates coming up. But after that, do you have any specials? Or are you working on anything special that maybe like we need to be watching out for? Because I'm definitely watching out, and I definitely want to make sure that we here at Completely Yoked can get your seats packed.
Okay. Yeah, well, basically, all my information is it's on my website. If you go to www.renardcomedy.com, and that's RENARD comedy.com. It has all my dates, and I think it's got one of my specials is up on there. And I always put all my flyers of the shows coming up on there, and some of the movies and stuff I've worked with in the past, and some of the comedians that I work with. You'll see their pictures and stuff up there too. So. Of course, I'm on Instagram. All my social media is Renard Comedy. So Instagram, Renard Comedy. X is Renard Comedy. Facebook is my name, Renard Hirsch. So if you type in Renard Comedy, it's come up. I think there's maybe one other Renard doing comedy. So there was one guy. He was in Florida. I don't know if he's still going. It's another comedian. His middle name is Renard, and he uses that one. So sometimes. So if you put Renard Comedy, I should be the one to come up.
What was the term? He's Googleable?
He is. He is Googleable.
He is.
Yeah, you Google.
Yeah, I come up with words. You know what I'm saying? I be coming up with words, and then people be like, "Yeah, we're gonna use that." I'm like, "Okay."
You know what? It's crazy. Like when you like sometimes that you'll Google yourself, stuff come up. Like I was trying to send a video for to book a show from some stand up, and somebody had made a video going to Zany's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Zany's and see the next time Renard Hirsch is performing." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Cause I didn't even know what they were." I was like, "Oh, this is wild." That you know how people go out and do stuff on your behalf. I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of dope."
Yeah, now don't be upset because my cap cut probably went out somewhere, but it was just to promote you, okay?
Okay.
But I definitely promote. And we definitely will be putting up your website so people can get those dates, see your shows, buy your ticket, and anything and everything. If don't forget Completely Yoked when you know what I'm saying. When you're out there doing tours and you in Madison Square and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget the little people.
Hey, we'll come back and do it again.
That's what I'm talking about. That part. Well, it has been a complete honor for me. My co-host is also because. You don't get him on a different level. He like, oh. Yeah, these are people.
Yeah, but, I mean, But I mean, no, we definitely appreciate you coming through. It's a true pleasure. Good to see that. Like I said, the educational part was a plus for me. I mean, I was so glad to hear that, and I'm just like, you're well rounded. You're gonna do fine. We just want to be there for the Netflix special because I know that's coming. So Netflix, Amazon Prime. You got all the major stuff that's coming down the road. So we can definitely appreciate that. But you do have Completely Yoked's full support, and we do appreciate stand-up comedy and everything that you do.
Oh, definitely, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I appreciate the love, man. Y'all, it's positive vibes all around me, man. I'm definitely glad to be able to. I already knew you, Monica. We were glad to connect with you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, the circles gets bigger and bigger.
That's right.
So
that's what we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
Well,
and it's a fun podcast. This. Every podcast ain't fun,
I try, what I'm saying? I do what I can. I do what I do. It ain't nuts, but I try. I do everything but push buttons because that is a phobia for me. But, I'm getting better. I'm intrigued.
But everything else.
She's in training. She's doing well. She's in training and she's doing well. I have to admit that she is doing well. She's pushing the buttons quicker. It's not that much hesitation behind it. She's doing well. She's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, a couple of edibles and I can push any button. Any button. And you be like, which one to push? I'm on it. I'm like,
that's when you're not supposed to push the button. You don't push the button then. You push the button when you're flying sober. You don't push the button when you're
off the hinge.
Yeah,
I don't know. She may be a habitual button pusher though. I don't know. That's what I'm getting.
You might be. I didn't invite you on here to be like, read me, sir. How dare
let's break
you?
this down. Okay. All right. Let's stop this and restart here and do the next hour. We just gonna discuss Monica.
We gonna straight get the last part out.
Oh God.
You're right. We gonna need 2 hours to do you justice. Okay. We're not gonna do. We're not gonna disrespect you with the hour. Okay.
All right. Okay, editing, I understand. That's not a problem. That's what I do. Okay, we'll edit around things.
You know me. I live out loud, so the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's just me.
It wouldn't be Monica if you didn't.
See, I don't know if it's the freckles that tell my life story or what.
He knows.
But, yeah, I just know.
He just knows.
You will definitely be supporting and watching and promoting and just anything that we could do to like help. You definitely can always call us. We got your back. And like I said, there's one thing we do is build bridges, and you will be getting, we be helping people build and branch off and do some stuff together. We help people network. And so like, we definitely, I've already been pushing your name out to people that we've already worked with, and everybody is all on board with a lot of things. So hopefully we'll keep doing what we're supposed to be doing in our community. And that's, if I can help you get there, I want to help you get there, and I don't need nothing back. I just want to see you succeed, and that's what we should be doing. And so I appreciate you coming on here, because that's what I feel like you've done for me today, and my co-host and Completely Yoked. And that makes me very, very happy, on top of the fact that I do know you and I know that you're a good person. And so everything in this world is good. You deserve it. So how we end out our show all the time is that we tell everybody that's listening, and even our guests, it's not the end, but we will talk to you in a couple of hours, and continue to listen to Completely Yoked and keep on subscribing. We're everywhere, and we're trying to even get bigger than what we are, so we can show more people in this light that look like us, to be able to have somebody to fall back on and say, thank you. I needed that. And then be able to help somebody else. So that's what we're about. And radio, again, thank you for all that you do. And we will definitely talk to you in a couple hours.
Thank you for listening to the Completely Yoked podcast with Little Bit Bougie and Mr. Radio 100.